Hello, Internet. Welcome back to another Trebuchet Disc Golf video. We are looking at the namesake drill of the channel today. So, the Trebuchet drill. What is it about? We are looking at swing plane integrity, similar to our last video. Last time we were looking at if your reach back position is here with the crease of your elbow pointed up, you are going to face palm. It's not going to work. This is going to make it impossible for your arm as it bends to stay on the swing plane, and you're going to end up getting your elbow too close to your body somehow, either here and doing one of these, or collapsing your bicep onto your pec, both of which don't work. So what we'd rather see is your elbow crease pointed towards your swing plane, where now it's going to be really easy to keep all of the relevant joints on the same plane, keep everything nice and smooth, keeping your elbow out away from your axis of rotation, which is theoretically your spine. So we've got two versions. We've got a basic version that's focused mostly on swing plane, and then a more advanced version, which is kind of a sneaky, hacky way to get a really good feel for what arm lag feels like. I know what it feels like. I have a very hard time getting it to feel right in a full throw. So this is just a drill to help bridge that gap a little bit, and maybe be the first time that you really feel lag and go, oh, that's what it's supposed to feel like, right? So it's just a little hack to get you to feeling it. So let's jump into it. So the basic version, we're just going to find our 90-90 power pocket position. This is not the most ideal sweatshirt for this. So we have a 90-degree angle in the elbow, 90-degree angle in the shoulder, with the upper arm relative to the other shoulder, everything's 90. From here, we are going to take our offhand, we're going to put it into the crease of our bicep, chop into our bicep, put it on our bicep, chop into the crease of the elbow, Then we're going to take our other elbow and lock it down onto our rib cage. So I've built a frame here, a trebuchet frame, if you will, that all this is going to do is keep my elbow here. So with this frame in place, I cannot end up here with shoulder collapse, and I can't end up here with my elbow in facepalm mode. So this is just a physical cue and physical structure that'll keep me on the swing plane. So do that. Find a reasonable stance with some offset, set up your frame, reach back, mild reach back here. We'll do a bigger reach back in the advanced version, and just feel how your arm loosely will move forward when supported by the elbow. I am not doing a bicep curl in and then a tricep press out. At an advanced level, there is tricep activation. According to people who know more than me, that is not where I am at in my personal throw. When I do that, I get poor results. So for me, it's easier to focus on supporting the shoulder. This is mimicking the support of the shoulder. And then everything from here down is inactive in my current throw. So there's a basic version. Just keeping the elbow in the right spot, avoiding collapsing at the shoulder across the chest, or avoiding the elbow dropping down off of the swing plane. The more advanced version focuses more on getting a feeling of lag. So same setup, chop into the elbow crease, lock the other elbow onto the ribs. Now, instead of reaching back and finding this arbitrary point where we can keep contact, we're going to go past that point to where you can see the shoulder blade, and I've lost contact. I have about 8, 10, 12 inches of space between my elbow and where my hand ends up, because I'm keeping the contact here, but I'm losing the contact on the elbow. Then when I come forward, I'm going to find that contact and give my arm a little nudge to have it stay not here, but get over there. So this is a deep power pocket, right? Most, if not all, of the long throwers, being 500, 600 feet, they're not classic power pocket. They are getting right pec or even deeper than that, where they're not at a 90-90 anymore. They're at a significantly more than 90 and a significantly less than 90. Why? If I have a certain amount of wind in and a certain amount of wind out, that in a normal center chest power pocket, that wind out is happening from here to my release. If I go back to what players were doing in the 70s, it's called a bent arm method, I think. This was their reach back. And I wasn't alive in the 70s, so I don't know this, but I've read about it. They would start here, and then the whole throw is unwind. So their unwind goes from release to reach back. So if the disc has a certain amount of unwind and it's happening in this much space, that's going to give you a certain amount of spin. That's going to be low. If you move to a center chest, you're compressing that spin, same amount of spin, into less space, so you're going to get more revolutions per second. If you compress that spin even further from a normal 90-90 power pocket into a deep power pocket, now you've taken the same amount of spin because my hand is still on the same spot relative to the clock face of the disc. All of that unwinding is going to happen in a shorter, more compressed space. You're going to get more spin, you're going to get more snap, you're going to get more disc speed, which means you're going to get more distance. So we want a deep power pocket if we're trying to maximize distance. What does the drill actually look like in advanced mode? So you're going to find your frame, open up your frame, close your frame, nudge your arm. It's really quite simple. The nudge just gets you the correct amount of elbow acceleration past 90, right? I'm not staying here. I'm letting the elbow come out. But I am not going to the extreme of starting a lawnmower. That is too much. It's going to mess up your timing. You're not going to have your big blocks connected to your small block. Everything has to happen in sequence. Our whip has to uncoil in the correct timing. And if you focus on any one joint doing too much of the work, you're going to lose the connectivity to the more important parts of the throw. So try that one out. Don't worry about your hand coming too close to your chest. We'll fix that later. Let's fix that now. So your hand can come too close to your chest when you're getting a feel for it without a disc. As soon as you add a disc, you have less room to coil in before you hit yourself. So one thing we can do to address that, more hyzer tilt, so there's more space for the disc to come through. But the other thing we can do is don't leave your shoulder here in line, right? Take your shoulder, push it forward. Now there's more space for the disc, right? If the disc was here, touching, so I can make 4 extra inches of space. So then how do we build that back into the drill? If I want that shoulder position, my hand is the same, but my elbow is going to go more in the center of my chest. So it's not, it was over here for our 90-90 power pocket. Fix my lighting a little bit. And if I want the shoulder forward, I need to move the elbow forward as well. So now I have my elbow that way more. Hopefully that is clear enough. So now I have enough room that the disc can still come in a little bit extra and not have to just go in a straight line. So we want more coil in, and we get that by accelerating the elbow ahead of the disc without hitting the microphone. Even better. So you're just trying to feel that nice coil in and coil out, and it's really finicky. It's really hard to get it. So if it's hard to get it to feel right here, even without a disc, then it's harder with a disc. And then it's going to be even harder when you don't get to push with your offhand. So how do we integrate this back into our full throw? get a solid feel for it here. That's relatively easy. Get a solid feel for it with the disc. That's harder. But then we need to get a solid feel for it in our full throw. So the way that I think about this, and I'm still working on it in my throw, I do not have this dialed in yet, but I think about from maybe here a little bit inside of 90 to a little bit outside of 90. That's where I'm applying force with my shoulder. And I don't think about that as muscle force. There's a drill from martial arts world where it's called the unbendable arm exercise. I won't spend too much time on it, but go look it up. It's kind of a groovy thing. The idea is that you're trying to hold your arm straight and your partner is trying to bend your arm. If you try to resist with as much strength as you can, it's very easy for your partner to bend your arm. If you instead think of your arm as a fire hose and just like imagine that you're shooting water out of it, for some reason it activates your connective tissue, your fascia, a lot more than just your muscle, strength of muscle. So that concept can be applied to the disc golf throw the same way. So I think of my arm as a fire hose, and rather than using muscle from here to here, right, that's kind of a lawnmower pull type of thing, I think about just turning up the pressure in my fire hose from here to here. That allows me to put some extra power into it, but still have my muscles switch right back off as soon as they're done applying force, and to not have any contrary muscles engage. So if I'm, not that I engage my tricep, but if I were trying to engage my tricep and my bicep was also firing, that would slow down that motion. So same concept, but applied to the shoulder. So hopefully that's a helpful cue to getting a little bit of drive with your elbow, because your elbow does need to move at a high level. Beginners can totally stay here and get to 300 feet, no problem, without the elbow moving. But once you want to start pushing past 300, you need a little bit more elbow drive to get into a deeper pocket. All right, so that's all I've got for you today. Please leave comments if you think this is a great idea. Please leave comments if you think this is a horrible idea. Please explain why you think it's a horrible idea. I'm happy to engage with people in the comments defending this idea and if it has any merit or not. Also, please remember to sub to the channel so you can see the next one when that's ready to drop. If you've made it this far, thank you so much. See you next time, Internet.